We woke up. You ready? Let's go, baby. 5 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Bills have won each of the last 7 meetings with the Dolphins.
The Dolphins feel extremely confident after that huge fourth-quarter comeback in Baltimore last week.
The visiting team is cooking in the direct sunlight.
Away we go from South Florida.
Third down.
All right, stadium, everybody go get your grills, man. Time to cook. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK. Cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK. Cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Fresh up off the wind, we was down but made it back. Purple smoke up in the air, that's that Raven pack. We was mad, disappointed in the first half. Came back and cleaned them up, that's the bird bath. Moving on now, team feeling strong now. Tua time to anthem, we're about to learn the song now. We got cheetah, defense beater. Slow them down, ain't got a chance. 17 through the scene, hit them with that water stand. Anyway, defense straight, got our stocks piling. We gon' dig a big hole for him and Josh Allen. We'll celebrate this week, but Sunday we are not smiling. Get your grills and make them hot. Flame them like that yellow light. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK. Cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. DOLPHIN. 60 minutes in the game. We be playing to the end. And we COOK. Cooking buffalo. Chefing at the Hard Rock. And we putting on a show. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo. Let's go. Cooking buffalo.
Hey, man, McDaniels, he's gonna need a wheelbarrow, man, for his nuts to carry around, man. He got a lot of cocoa on it, you know what I'm saying?
It's a new season, new era. Are y'all ready? Mcjb. I got one question for y'all. Are you ready?
Jello Beats, holla at me.
This a new season. We going hard this year for a reason. Lombardi Trophy coming back to the 305. Going super crazy and we gonna be fine. Got a couple or a can, you better full send. You know I'm talking about my Phins, cause we gonna win. Tua in his 3rd year, you know it's Tua time. Whole team working hard from that summer grind. Everywhere you go, it's Phins up. We going to the Super Bowl, you know what's up. You better watch out, cause the Phins are here to stay. You know we getting dubs, we ain't here to play. Waddle and a cheetah, you already knowing that we are gonna beat ya. You know we going all the way to the Super Bowl, because that's the plan and you knowin' that's the goal. You know I'm wearing aqua orange on me every day. Let me tell you what I gotta really can say. MIAMIDOLPHINs, where do I begin?
You begin with Tua Tagovailoa, representing for Samoa, turn and beat the barbacoa. He gon' strike like a cobra, you know cheetah ain't gon' slow up, so we bout to run the score up. Yeah, we really bout to blow up. 17 bout to show up in the eye of the beholder. Got the defense second guessing, does a penguin have a shoulder? Everybody wanna kick it, but forgot they need a holder. If you try to sleep on us, we wake you up and smell the folders. Yeah, the Super Bowl is what we own, and if you ain't about that, please be gone. MIAMIDOLPHINs, that's where it's going. TD.
This a new season. We going hard this year for a reason. Lombardi Trophy coming back to the 305. Going super crazy and we gonna be fine. Got a couple or a can, you better full send. You know I'm talking about my Phins, cause we gonna win. Tua in his 3rd year, you know it's Tua time. Whole team working hard from that summer grind.
Whole team working hard from that summer grind. McJb and TDPT got together and made this track so breezy. I haters shook, they got the heebie-jeebies. Tua's gonna be the new MVP. Must see TV, get the Lombardi. Back to the city of Miami. Put that on repeat.
Florida, Dade County, 305. Yeah. On the Gulf side of Florida, they said it wouldn't ring. But down in South Beach, yeah, we about to make a sting. 305 Miami, we about to have a blast. Got a guy from Batman, he's so stupid fast. On the Gulf side of Florida, they said it wouldn't ring. But down in South Beach, yeah, we about to make a sting. 305 Miami, we about to have a blast. Got a guy from Batman, he's so stupid fast. Jalen Waddle with the catch, Tua throw it, go fast. Big Mike with the round, O-line looking style. Miles G with the run, South Beach having fun. Other team gonna lose, don't care who boos. 305 is the place to be. If you don't believe me, just wait and see. Don't care what people really gotta say. Ride till I die, Phins up every day. We winning the game, we going to a party. Spitting on the beat like Playboy Cardi. Gonna take a pic with Waddle. About to celebrate with the bottle. Dolphins about to win the dang ring. Ground and shine, bling bling. Don't give a what, look if you buck. Your team is so trash and they really just suck. His squad. Miami Dolphins, my squad. Aqua and orange on me every day. Shawty really about to be my bae. I'm always repping the 305. If you hate to leave, you can say goodbye. At the end of the day, Miami with the dub. After the game, I'll see you in the club. On the Gulf side of Florida, they said it wouldn't ring. But down in South Beach, yeah, we about to make a sting. 305 Miami, we about to have a blast. Got a guy from Batman, he's so stupid fast. On the Gulf side of Florida, they said it wouldn't ring. But down in South Beach, yeah, we about to make a sting. 305 Miami, we about to have a blast. Got a guy from Batman, he's so stupid fast.
Hit squad representative. Big beast, we eat squads up for dinner. Legendary team, better watch how you approach them. If you can't swim, get tossed in the ocean. Get lost in the ocean. Bad attitude, we be causing commotion. They ain't kind of boy, one claim South Beach. When the South Florida sports so low, the mouthpiece. MIAMIDWA, that's the way I vibe. Throw fins up, that's the way we ride. All around the globe, DOLPHINS worldwide. On a clip with JB, then you know we made heat. Lead teams in the dark like it's new EP. Phins out of this world, we the new ET. Defense throwing magic, make your QB sleep. When we hit the field, then we get into the grind. Hit that touchdown song, then we get into the shine. Working every day so we can get back to the prime. If you check your clock, you can see it's to a time. Even if it ain't ticking, then the fans still there. Screaming out loud with our hands in the air. Either got a full cup or a can in the air. Win the Super Bowl, that's the plan this year. Yeah.
Gulf side of Florida, they said it wouldn't ring. But down in South Beach, yeah, we about to make a sting. 305 Miami, we about to have a blast. Got a guy from Batman, he's so stupid fast. On the Gulf side of Florida, they said it wouldn't ring. But down in South Beach, yeah, we about to make a sting. 305 Miami, we about to have a blast. Got a guy from Batman, he's so stupid fast. Mcjb.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Phinsaholics show on Miami Sports Music. Welcome, everybody. I know I'm running a little bit late. I actually overslept whilst watching a show on TV and took a little bit extra of sleep that I thought I was going to have. But much love to everybody. Appreciate everybody in the room. Hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen, as you come in. Got some news today as for the Miami Dolphins. Seemed like Mike Gesicki gave a farewell letter to the fan base, thanking everybody. Saying his goodbyes, and Mike Gesicki basically coming out and writing on his Instagram saying, "I remember moving down to South Florida at the age of 22, ready to live out my lifelong dream of playing in the NFL. When the Miami Dolphins fulfilled that dream, I knew I was prepared for the next step, but what I didn't know was how much South Florida was going to mean to me and how at home I felt by the true Miami Dolphins fans these past 5 years. I will never forget the feeling of adrenaline going through my body after my first career catch versus Tennessee in my first game, and I still get the chills thinking about the intensity and passion and the love I felt from the support of our fans, and the last time I was announced in the lineup before our final home game this season versus the Jets. I met teammates and staff members that built relationships that will last a lifetime. Also went from confused as hell why the Dolphins drafted another tight end the day after they drafted me to growing up with Dermot Smythe and sharing unbelievable memories on that field, and was able to add a groomsman to my wedding and a brother for life. I gave every ounce I had to be the best teammate, player, and person I could have possibly become. I'll forever remember the adversity in not playing a major role my rookie year to the following year catching the game winner in Foxborough back in 2019. I will forever cherish playing with Ryan Fitzpatrick because he changed my career and my life forever by just simply believing in me, giving me opportunities on Sundays, and giving me the best advice I've received regarding the game of football. Stop thinking so much, just effing run. I hope you all enjoy my obnoxious ball spins after a first down, my ridiculous celebrations after a big play, And of course, the most hilarious gritty the league has ever seen, self-proclaimed. I'm not sure what the next step has in store for me. I'm not positive where it will be, but my time in Miami has come to an end. I will forever cherish every moment and be grateful for the highs and lows, no matter what and no matter where the show goes on. Just keep going. So, yeah, Mike Gesicki signing off basically pretty much for the Miami Dolphins. Doesn't seem very likely like he's going to return to the team. And listen, I was a big Gesicki fan. I'm a big Gesicki fan. I understand this wasn't the final season we probably would have wanted from him as far as his usage and stuff on the field. But I am a big Mike Gesicki fan. I know a lot of people want to just come out here and say he doesn't know how to run routes, he can't block, but he is a talented, athletic receiver. In my ends, pass catcher, I call it like that, if you want to call it. So, his usage could have been a little bit higher, a little bit better in the red zone. I think, if with the opportunity, if the Dolphins would continue to see him in the red zone, I think his chances and his stats would have been a lot higher. So yeah, it's unfortunate that it didn't work out the way we all wanted and himself wanted this final season, at least with the Dolphins. And I mean, we got news last season that he had purchased his dream home in Jersey, where he's from, where his family's from, where his family is. And, at the end of the day, a lot of people were coming out before he signed the franchise tag, were saying that he wasn't going to sign for that much, that 10.9 million. That he wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to do it. He wasn't going to do it. I kept telling everybody, Mike Gesicki is going to sign that. I'm telling y'all, Mike Gesicki, I have fought, head and shoulders with a lot of people in the fan base. I'm telling you, he's going to sign it. He's like, he has no reason to sign it. He did. And, forever, I was in the back of my head about that Jersey home. And again, people say, these are football players or athletes. They buy homes everywhere, but his family is there. And, if he has the opportunity that he can play for a team up there, whether it's the Jets, the Giants, Patriots, any of those teams come calling, I could see him very well going to one of those teams. And that's the reality of life. That is the part that sucks, because we never want to come see Mike Gesicki in the future. And it just sucks. But, at the end of the day, hopefully he has a successful career and it doesn't affect us in any possible way, any outcome as far as like when we match up against him again. But, I wish him a successful career going forward. If he's willing to return to Miami Dolphins for about $4 or $5 million, I would love it. I just don't see, with all the things we need to do on this team and additions and players that are going to be shipped out and restructured and players that we're going to try to bring in, I just don't see how Mike Gesicki's in the plans. So I got to give a shout out to Miss Phins. I don't know how she's feeling about it today. I haven't really caught up to her as far as the episode she's done today or her post on social media to see if how she's feeling about Mike Gesicki. But that's something that's very intriguing to me to know, because I know she's a very big fan of Mike Gesicki. And I'm curious. I'm curious, Ms. Phins, if you're out there, just, I'll tune in tomorrow to your show in the morning to check, to see what you're going to say about it. But maybe you've known about the writing on the wall for a while. So, but yeah, Mike Gesicki, farewell and good luck in your career. We got news that came out that was official now. Field Yates was reporting that Dolphins defensive assistant, 3-time Pro Bowler, cornerback Patrick Surtain has officially been named the defensive backs coach at Florida State at FSU. So we are losing Patrick Surtain for sure. He was an assistant for the defensive backs last year, defensive backs coach, and what Patrick Surtain means to this team, and for those who have been following the Phins for a while, is huge and nostalgic. But he wants to continue his career, his growth, and continue his success as far as being a coach. So let's see what the Miami Dolphins do as far as bringing in somebody to replace Patrick Surtain. But we'll see what goes from there. There's news out there that we're going to monitor. I know William Perry was mentioning earlier this morning that that Barry Cunningham was reporting something about Brady possibly leaning in towards retirement. Yeah, it was a topic of conversation we had throughout the day. We don't know for sure yet. Gesicki's probably going to take, whether another month, maybe a couple weeks, to decide what he wants to do. There's a lot of speculation as far as he wants to return. And if he is going to return, is it going to be the Dolphins? Is it going to be the Vegas Raiders? Is it going to be the Patriots? There's so many different outcomes and different scenarios that could actually happen. We'll see how it goes. At the end of the day, I know a big part of this fan base wants Tom Brady on this team. They want to see what he has to offer. 7-time Super Bowl champion, going into the age of 46. And it's intriguing to see what he would do with a quite possibly the best wide receiver set in the NFL. And that's not trying to be biased. And, it's interesting. It's interesting to say the least. But, we'll see how things are going to transpire. Let's see if Brady decides to hang it up. We mentioned a lot that he does have kids down here in South Florida. He's a single man. He's a divorced man. Miami's a beautiful place to live in. Miami doesn't get any better than Miami. And I don't know. I don't, if he decides to hang it up or if he decides to continue playing, I just don't see how anything else is better than the option of Miami. You're giving him the 2 best wide receivers in the NFL. You get to see your kids every day if you wanted to. You have the option of staying in that Florida tax bracket as far as what you get paid. You get to finish and live your life and finish your career in Miami and just stay here and retire. It's just, why wouldn't he want to do that? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me why he wouldn't want to do that. But we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes. I dropped the link if anybody wants to jump up and get into the conversation. Not planning on going on too long. Throughout the week, we've been talking about possible players that the Miami Dolphins might be wanting to add as far as additions, as far as the position units like linebacker, cornerback, offensive line. We're talking about guards. We're talking about right tackles. We're talking about left tackles that could be either left or right tackles. We've talked about all those options. We've talked about different scenarios, and it's intriguing. It's intriguing because just yesterday, there are people out there trying to push a false narrative that Miami can't possibly figure out any way to create some money, right? That is the narrative that's going around. Miami Dolphins, there's no way in hell that they're going to be able to put up some money together to sign Christian Wilkins, to sign Nick Needham, to sign any other free agent out there. There's a lot of narratives that people are putting out there, and it just isn't true. It really isn't. And, we've talked about the Miami Dolphins. With, shout out to Neil Driscoll. He's talked about the scenarios where there's 8 moves the Miami Dolphins can make, and just doing those 8 moves can create about $72 million in cap space. 72. So that's why when Greer was asked the questions as far as we're being over the cap right now, currently going into in the following season, he says the money we have right now is not going to be the same amount of money when we go into the season. His exact words. So that narrative that we can't make money or we don't have money to spend on players is completely bogus. And for those of you that don't tune into the Phinsaholics show, I'm gonna give you some of the stuff that the Miami Dolphins can do to create this space. So, number one, if you designate Byron Jones for a post-June first cut, you will save $14.1 million. If you restructure defensive end newcomer Bradley Chubb, it saves you $14.7 million. You restructure Tyreek Hill, it saves $18.7 million. You trade Emmanuel Ogbah, saves $11.4 million. You trade Cedric Wilson, it saves you $6 million. You release linebacker Jerome Baker, saves you $3.8 million. You release tight end Steven Carter, saves you $2.6. I still don't understand how this man is still on the roster, but you save $2.6. And number 8, you release cornerback Keon Cross and saves you about $3.2 million, right? And we're still, we know that the cap space and the salary cap is gonna go up as well in the offseason. These are all factors that Miami could definitely look at. There's a lot of positions that I would like to fill. I mean, I feel like the majority of this fan base feels like, a lot of people are saying they want a quarterback. A lot of people are saying that they want middle linebacker help. A lot of people want O-line help. A lot of people want cornerback help. There's different scenarios how Miami can play this. We got 4 draft picks. We got a second round, 2/3, and a 6. And at this point, we do have a lot of players that we need to sign. We did sign some people that to guarantee contracts that were on the practice squad. Cameron Good being one of them that we all covered very highly. He is definitely he got signed. And interesting tidbit that I didn't realize today. We were all talking, having the conversation, and I didn't know. I completely just passed me. This completely passed me. Was the Kader Kohou. Kader Kohou, we all forget that he was undrafted. Therefore, he's technically a free agent. He's technically he's a restricted free agent. So Miami has the opportunity, obviously, to be able to give him the best offer available, but he is a free agent. So that makes things very interesting. Because if you do got to bring back Kader Kohou, if you want to, they've been in talks with Nick Needham already. It's something the Miami Dolphins have been in talks with Nick Needham, and they've been in talks with Christian Wilkins, and we want to make a lot of moves. We have to put into perspective. Kader Kohou, even if you're bringing him back, you want to do a long-term deal, and he's willing to do that and take a discount for Miami, that makes it very interesting. That makes it interesting. And that's something that we need to definitely consider. Does Miami give him a 1-year deal? Does Miami try to get a 3-year deal out of him? Friendly deal? Those are all factors that we need to look at. And it's scary. It's really scary to think about, because that's one thing that I didn't realize. And that was something that we talked about a little bit today. Again, I dropped the link in the comment section. Anybody wants to come up, more than welcome to. Not planning on going too long today. Maybe I'll go on to like 11. So let's welcome. What's going on, Todd?
What's up? What's up? Just getting off work. Wasn't lucky enough to have a day off like you today.
Yeah, we had a day off, but nonetheless, it was a little bit of work. We were working, even though the Twitter Spaces, and shout out to Lewis hosting the Twitter Space today. Everybody coming through. Was on the morning show a little bit, and I was watching a show about 2 hours ago. I started watching the show, and I fell asleep. When I woke up, I was already like 4 episodes in, maybe, and I realized I overslept.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I guess he ain't coming on tonight.
Zachary, come by, Zachary.
I can't wait for next year. I'm actually looking forward to next year.
Me too. But these are definitely things that I want. Like, I want Kader.
I do too.
Like, so bad.
But on a good note, Batman, we're keeping Bevel. He turned down OC spots. Now, for him to turn down OC spots, I'm wondering if Miami's talked to him a little bit about maybe expanding his role a little bit.
Maybe. And that's interesting, because when you think about it, and again, I'm not trying to take a shot at Flores. But ever since Flores was here, it just felt like we had a big turnaround with coaches either changing jobs.
They were jumping to get out of here.
They just wanted it. They were crossing their fingers, waiting to get out of here. And the fact that we kept him and he's decided to stay and decline, he even declined Commanders and Jets opportunity, like you mentioned. But let me welcome real quick. Let's welcome Zachary from ZSM Sports. What's going on, Zachary? How you doing? How you been?
I've been good, man. How are you?
Pretty good, man. Welcome. I know you've been on the show before with Steven, but it's awesome that you're here at night. So I appreciate it. Shout out to you with, blessing me with a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be doing giveaways for on the channel. And I appreciate it. How do you feel about, I know you're good friends with Kader Kohou. How do you feel? You think he's gonna try to get a deal from the Miami Dolphins, if without giving out too much info, if you know anything?
From a reliable source, I'm not going to name his name, but he's probably on the show now. I think it's almost a locked deal that he's going to get. I don't know what he's getting, but he's 99% re-signed for the season. I know me and Sylvan's people are working on a deal for him.
Nice.
Hey,
Okay.
I've been watching football longer than most people because I'm older. I want to tell Kader I've never seen a corner do what he did as a rookie, as an undrafted rookie. I've never seen it.
Oh,
it was amazing. Dude, he was amazing.
In college, I knew about him at Texas A&M Commerce, and I knew how good he played. And the only bad thing about him, if he was a couple inches taller, he could be a hybrid corner. He could play a linebacker because he does hit like a truck.
Yeah, he does.
And
he's our best tackling corner on our team. The man was a sure tackler.
Yeah, he was a great tackler. He has, I think, like 1 or 2 forced fumbles this year. I know he has one for sure against New England. I don't know if the row one was considered a half or whatever.
And that hit that he put on the receiver is why Holland got the pick. Man, the play he made on that receiver to hit him right the perfect time to knock that ball up in the air was perfect.
Yeah, I mean, he's a stud, and to go undrafted and prove everyone that ever doubted him wrong. I mean, in all honesty, he should have been drafted. The only reason why he wasn't was because he went to a D2 school.
Right. But even still, I saw X when he came out. X was not X his rookie year. X was a second-round pick. Could have been a first-round pick if it wasn't for an injury.
Mm-hmm.
And you see Kader come undrafted out of a D2 school and play as well as he did as a rookie. The sky's the limit in the future.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think he led. He was top 5 for like most snaps on the team this year defensively.
He made the All-Rookie team, didn't he?
Yeah.
I think he was like at 80% or something like that, 78.8 or something.
He made, I think it was one of football's rookie teams. He did as a slot corner. He made it. I think I saw it yesterday.
He made the all rookie team.
It's impressive.
He passed who was the other corner that did really well? He passed another corner that
the corner from the Jets was the corner from the Jets is probably going to be rookie of the year. But
Sauce Gardner.
Sauce balled out this year.
He did.
Zach, really, really good.
Let me ask you a question. I know you're also close to, if you can give us anything from the time you've spent with him throughout the year. Is there anything you could give us about Christian Wilkins? Anything? Any little thing you can give us?
I can't really give it to you. I know they're in the talks. That's all I heard. And that's from Instagram posts. He hasn't his people and himself haven't answered me back, but all I know is that they have communicated to him during the year that they want to bring him back.
Okay. He's number 2, I think, among defensive tackles, and that's with Aaron Donald being number 1. I think Christian Wilkins is number 2 right now as among defensive tackles.
You know what? I agree. 100%. Leading the league in tackles as well for a defensive lineman. 92?
No, breaking the record for defensive.
Breaking the record. And the thing is, he broke the record before the final game because people are going to say, "Oh, but it's a 17-game season."
But
he broke the record before the last.
Yeah, but you know what I also say like about Wilkins. I've seen him making tackles on the sideline. 5 yards, 10 yards downfield.
He would go.
Dude, he's all over.
Yeah, he would go from the line. Yeah.
He's a monster.
We always say we want a middle linebacker that can go sideline to sideline. We have a defensive tackle that can go sideline to sideline.
Somebody wrote that up here. Raphael Courtney said, "Move 94 to linebacker. My guy's a beast." He's a beast, man.
So, scary part is he's
a really good
linebacker.
We do.
I don't know. He's a little bit bigger for a linebacker. We do have a really good linebacker, but he's on the practice squad, unfortunately.
Cameron Good.
And that is my boy Cam Good. Yes.
Cam Good.
What about Channing Tindall? What's his thing? I haven't heard much about him at all.
What I've been told throughout the season was the Miami Dolphins wanted him to put on some weight. And a lot of people want to say it's him learning the playbook, but I think this offseason he's really going to hit the weight room. You know, we saw the jump from Phillips too as well. He's going to hit the weight room. He puts about 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. I think he's going to solidify himself. We might not have to bring back the leading tackler for the Miami Dolphins, which was Landon Roberts. You could elevate, a Cameron Good to the team now.
Dude, I've heard nothing but good things about Cameron Good.
What's going on, Timothy?
What's up,
Cameron
Batman?
What's going on, Timothy?
How's everything?
Pretty good.
Batman,
pretty good.
So I got to get up. I got to say something.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to say this for a while, but I just keep my mouth shut. You remember when Tua was drafted, right, by the Dolphins, right?
Mm-hmm.
My thing is, everybody want to cry and moan about this kid being elite and all that stuff like that. The Dolphins, I just think they handled him wrong because you draft him, then you got a coach to try to replace him, and he hasn't even touched the field yet. And it's like every single year is always something like, oh, Tua should be replaced, Tua should be this, Tua should be that. Let the man play and just let it play out like everybody say. Let it play out because it's gonna take 3 or 4 years for him to get into that group. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He ain't just coming to the league and tear it up. And everybody wants to just crap on the kid and stuff. I'm like, well, why did the Dolphins draft him? They can tell, oh, they should have drafted Herbert. They could have got Herbert.
Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on.
Let me finish.
I agree with you, but
my thing is, they keep talking about Herbert this and Herbert that. Herbert hasn't did nothing. Herbert hasn't did nothing. Only Burrow and Mahomes. That's it. Herbert hasn't did nothing. Trevor Lawrence hasn't did nothing. I mean, did they get to the playoffs? Trevor just got here did this year. If it wasn't for Tua, we would not be in the playoffs. Say what you want about he won 8 games and Skylar Thompson did that. Yeah, but guess what? Skylar Thompson, I'm sorry. He was the reason we lost that game. He was. The defense gave us a chance to win. And 100%. then again before that, when I told you about the defense, they're going to say, about the Tennessee game. You wouldn't need a Tennessee game if the defense would have gave those touchdowns in those 3 games. They don't ever speak about that. And that just kills my nerve. Like, if you're going to tell the whole truth.
I agree.
All right. Hey, here's the thing. If Herbert had a great rookie year, and I'll give it that. But if Herbert would have been in Miami with the talent that Tua had around him and Tua would have been in San Diego, who would have had a better year?
Oh, Todd, don't start that. Don't start that, Todd. It's gonna get people mad. It's gonna get people mad.
I honestly, I don't know because right now you don't know if Herbert's going to be good. We don't know if Tua's going to be good.
So what I'm saying is
hoping that they do.
Herbert came into the league with Eccles. Who was the receivers? Wait, hold up.
Both of his receivers were there. They were both.
He had Mike Williams, and then you look at what Tua had. He had Parker was his best receiver when he was on the field.
Yeah.
And my thing is, where have we beat Baltimore with any quarterback besides Tua? Besides that one at 15 season with Jay Fiedler when Greg came out and caught that pass. Like who else? Any other year, we would have lost that game with any other quarterback. Not named Tua.
Dude, Baltimore's been the biggest thorn in Miami's side for so many years.
And look, we finally beat them twice in Miami and in Baltimore. When he had that 6 touchdown game, I said we got our quarterback. It's gonna give him some time, but give the kid some time.
So
because the problem is Flores didn't give him the chance to mess up. Flores kept pulling him from games. Let him stay his ass in there and let him figure it out.
I hear you.
You want to pour from games. So like, don't pour the guy from games. Just let him figure it out. Don't throw them picks. He'll figure it out. That's when you're going to find out if he's good or not.
this is the thing that is stressful. It's very stressful. So we got to realize that it wasn't up to Flores or Greer. I strongly and wholly believe that, we all when Tua got drafted, we understood about the injury. A lot of people in his camp were saying he was healthy, but for the majority of the fan base, we wanted him to sit that first year, right? But a couple things. The pressure of being a quarterback in Miami, especially if you're a 5th overall pick in the draft, is intense because the fan base is gonna ask and want and pull and say what they want.
They should.
And it makes it difficult not to. But again, I think we said at the very least we'll play him after the bye week, which was the Jets game, because we're playing the Jets back to back. We had a bye week in between, and that was going to be like around week 11 or 12. Fortunately, it got moved up. And Ross, he's a businessman. At the end of the day, he wanted to put his star player. We had come out for 2 losses, I think, or 1 loss. We lost to Seattle and somebody else, and we struggled against Seattle. I think we went 6 times into the red zone, and we scored field goals all 6 times. And it was very stressful. And Tua got put into this game, and it wasn't his time. And again, I give a lot of credit to CT because he works with athletes and he understands what a hip injury will do. With the modern technology nowadays, it could definitely improve how fast the player can come, but that injury alone takes 2 years to heal, let alone play football. That's just for an average day-to-day, Joe that, wants to get that hip replaced and wants to be feeling normal again. This man came back and he shouldn't have played that first year. But I know people say that's an excuse. But if you think about it, 2 years removed this year would have been his healthiest year. And he was healthy. The unfortunately was the concussion issue that happened throughout the season, right? That is the issue. But I could understand the frustration in the fan base. I myself, when you look at the draft, look when Burrow, Tua, and Herbert came out, right? And that first season, right? Everybody was talking about Herbert. Oh, Herbert's the best. The following season, Burrow was the best. Took his team to the Super Bowl. Yep. And then Tua,
because I didn't think that Herbert was going to be. I mean, not Herbert, but I did not think that what's the kid, Joe Burrow. I did not think he was going to be good because he only had 1 good year in college, and I'm like, dude, that's 1 good year, and people they're going to do. But because Tua was hurt, that's why he was #1 pick.
And if you take away, I know we can't do that because this is the hypothetical game, but if you take away the concussions and Tua's trajectory, what he was in the MVP talks, you could argue he was having the best season of the 3 this year. It's hard to sit there and determine for rookie draft. I say you got to give it 3 to 4 years to analyze the draft. I understand Herbert consistently has been great. Burrow has been great too consistently. But again, you got to factor that injury. That's what sucks. Let me ask Zachary. Yeah. Zachary, how do you feel about the whole situation about, the whole how everything was handled with Tua, and how do you feel about the possibilities of seeing him at least this season coming up for his 4th year?
I'm going with the Dolphins. I liked Tua in college. The hip injury was unfortunate that happened to him. Any injury that happens to any player is, devastating at some point in their career. But that injury, 90-something%, I don't know the exact numbers, but a lot of people don't play football after that.
Hey guys, hey, let me ask you all this: who's the greatest athlete to ever play football?
Athlete, not player. Athlete.
Athlete.
Say Sanders.
I say Bo Jackson, and his career got ended by that hip injury.
Right, and again, I tell people that modern technology, the advancements, how people can heal, and
but if it ended his career, now, it's still going to take 2 years. That ended his career. You know what I mean? Modern technology didn't improve enough to where you're going to be back. what was it, a year later, and he's back on the field.
Yeah. And again, everybody heals differently too. I mean, it's just different. I mean, look at Cameron Wake a couple years back. People forget he tore his Achilles, remember?
Yep.
And that injury takes a year to a year and a half to fully heal. And I think he came back within the year, right? He came back within the year at the age of like 35 or something like that, I think.
Yeah,
It
you
was like
remember
9 months or something. It was less than a year.
Yeah, it was like 9 months.
Kobe Bryant came back from his pretty quick.
That's for
but I'm saying
Enterprise Drive 178.
You sure it's all the money?
Yeah, it's on it, yeah, it's on it.
with how athletes nowadays can recover and be able to come back, and every athlete's different. You know, you got to consider the age, you got to consider their position. These are all things. The Cameron Wake really requires those Achilles to bend around the corner and go at the quarterback. And this man, like you said, Zachary, 9 months. 9 months, this guy was back on the field. So it's just technology is different nowadays.
Hey, and you got to say a hip injury with Tua's position as a quarterback, you rely on your lower body and your hips to get that ball where it's supposed to go.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. But like I was saying, I mean, I have all the faith in Tua. I mean, obviously, I thought this year we weren't going to make the playoffs. It was more like everyone's getting felt out. You know, a lot of the guys are new. I mean, some veterans are being brought in, stuff like that. But you're gonna see next year. It's gonna be dog mentality, I think, from every single player on that team.
I strongly believe that, and I'm hoping it's gonna be a different season. And I want to welcome G. What's going on, G?
What's going on, Batman? What's going on, everybody?
How you doing, G? I have an interesting tidbit that we looked into it. CT has been preaching for this for 2 years, and none of us really look at this because this is not of importance, I guess, for a lot of people. But CT was been talking about this for 2 years. When I went to the Dolphins facility at the beginning of the season, when I went into the training room and I was trying to get information, I wasn't allowed to ask any questions. They weren't giving me any answers. Again, I'm just a nobody. I'm a fan at the end of the day.
You could always ask me, Batman.
So I wanted to know if from Flores' coaching staff to McDaniel's coaching staff, did we change or rehire a new strength and conditioning and training staff from the previous? Did we hold over his staff and kept it going with continuity as far as the people that were in the building being able to take care of these athletes? And I couldn't get that information. Well, we looked into it yesterday. And we've had this staff since Adam Gase. And the people have not changed.
178. No, he's 178 Enterprise.
We haven't changed the staff since like 2015, 2016. And that's something that we definitely need to look at. That's something that we all definitely need to look at. And again, I'm not here to calling for anybody to get fired. I don't want anyone to get fired. These are people's livelihoods. They take care of their families. But that's something the Miami Dolphins definitely need to look into. I'm not making an excuse. If you look at last season, look at this season, we've had so many injuries.
You're right about that, Batman. You're right about that because everybody seems to be getting injured like a lot. Like the whole team seemed like. And I'm starting to believe that's what happened to like far as us winning all them games too. Like everybody was injured, but then again, I won't say that neither because we was in every game. The defense had us in every game. It's just the quarterback, man. Like Tua can't stay on the field, which I get, but I mean, hopefully this year he can stay on the field. Good.
Let me give the floor to G. G, talk to us. How you feeling, man, about the end of the season, what transpired, press conference? I know I haven't got the chance to talk to you. How do you feel about everything that's transpired since then?
Well, man, I want to say, first of all, I'm, more than proud of the effort they showed up there in Buffalo. I think they 100%. Went up there and they brought the fight to Buffalo. They didn't, they weren't passive. So, they did the best they could. And, I'm really proud to be a Dolphin, I've been listening to, everybody stream all day. And I got to cite my source. It was Barry Cunningham, I think is his last name.
Yeah, Barry Cunningham.
I try to listen to everybody because, I might not agree with it, but it's Dolphin talk. And what he said though was, we're all talking about Tua coming back and running back, and even McDaniels, hinted around Tua coming back, but we haven't heard from Tua since when? When is the last time there was a microphone in his face?
Green Bay, right?
After the Green Bay game. So that was what, Christmas?
Christmas.
So, I mean, everybody's saying he's coming back. I mean, I'm thinking, if it was Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow or somebody like that, and they were hurt, they're not playing, but they're going to come out and make a statement because they're the leader of that team. And I just haven't heard anything from Tua. Instead of us speculating on, what the injury was, what his, status is, this and that, if he came out and addressed us, as a fan base, because he is our QB1, right? If he addressed the fan base, let us know what is going on, then there might not be so much speculation. I mean, it's up in the air, again, it's weird because the people that are saying, run it back, Tua's coming back, yada, 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 yada. But I ain't heard nothing from Tua. And then for a man, I mean, again, I like to listen to everybody. For Barry Cunningham to say, we never know if Tua's not in prayer with his family, looking over, is it worth coming back to play? Because he has generational wealth now. He's got a big heart. He can do great things without playing football, and that's no shade. He can do great things with what the NFL has already blessed him. And then if he were to retire, that's more blessing. So, not to get religious or spiritual or whatever, but, again, if it's run it back and we should be hyped up, I'm sure he could get it together, get in front of a camera, put out a message for us. Hey, I know you got sources, connections, or whatever. We want to hear from Tua what Tua is going to do. I don't want to hear from.
Amen to that. He's 100% right.
Look, I'll say this.
I want to hear from QB1.
I've been told that when Tua went down in Cincinnati, his parents were in the building, right? And they went to the hospital with him, and conversations that were had, flying back to Miami throughout that whole week and going into the concussion protocol and all that. His family wanted him to retire. And, immediately when this all went down, like the thing about this is like, I knew about Tua's situation as far as, him being, we knew that he got married, but I've known about this for a while, and only about 4 people in the community knew about this, and him having a child. Like, I knew all about this. We just couldn't say anything. And throughout the season, you got to see that, the whole world got to see that. But that put things into perspective, because if it's not just his parents, you're looking at his new family right now too. What are they telling him as far as the future, right? His wife. But one thing that we need to respect as far as a community and as a fan base is that Samoan culture, they fight for everything. They fight hard to the death. They want to prove that there's no quitters, right? And he is playing for his grandfather's name, right? That's what he plays for. He wants to make his grandfather proud. And I think that's why Tua said, I want to continue. Again, shout out to Nick Hicks. I know it's his trainer. When Tua went down and with the concussion protocol in the Green Bay game, his trainer came out and said, for those of you that think he's going to retire, you're dead wrong. He ain't retiring. So again, like you mentioned, G, I understand we want to hear from the horse's mouth. It's just, it makes it difficult, especially now that the offseason's here. Because like Pete was coming out today saying some ridiculous stuff. Pete was saying that I'm counting every single week that passes by until we get notification that Tua is cleared protocol. It's the offseason. You're not going to get any information. It's the offseason. Like Tua could clear protocol in a month and 2 months, 3 months. We're not going to know. So it's not like the Dolphins are going to be reporting, hey, Tua just cleared protocol like next week. They're not. We're not talking about these things, right? But I hear you. I hear what you say, G. But I do want to say one thing. I was very impressed with Skyler. Not saying that he was lights out, but I'm so confident. I'm confident enough to say this. As much as we were concerned about Tua's injuries, right? I am confident when having Skyler as the number 2 option for the Miami Dolphins going forward, at least into backup role for Tua. The time of spending big money on a backup when we can reinforce this offensive line for whoever's standing at quarterback, whether it's Tua, Skyler, whoever's out there, I'm all for it. And at the very least, if you do want to bring in a third string quarterback, I would go and get Andy Dalton for a cheap deal. He's worth between $3 and $6 million to be the third string quarterback. But Skyler Thompson, I like what I saw. I think he deserves the right to be the second string quarterback going forward for the Miami Dolphins.
Now, there's rumors about defense changing next year and going to a wide 9.
Right.
What do you think of that?
We'll get into that. I'll answer the question. Let me welcome Robert and his welcome master at work. How you doing, gentlemen?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm good.
I know, master at work. You want to come in hot? I know you coming in hot.
No. This is a psychological human experiment that I'm witnessing here. Carry on.
It's therapy. You know, we're having conversations. We're in the same situation, like you said. We're looking into the off-season potential stuff that's going to happen now, as far as both of our teams. At the end of the day, though, we're going to see. Let's see. I mean, let me ask you a question. And by the way, very impressive video that you put out for multiple teams. But the video you made for us for the Miami Dolphins was amazing. I'm not going to lie.
I know a lot of y'all hate TD. I know a lot of people that hate TD enjoyed the hell out of that video.
Yeah, like that video was amazing. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I thought that video was amazing.
I haven't seen it yet, so.
Oh my god, it was impressive. Very
y'all
impressive.
like my hype video for y'all too?
Yeah. No, that's what I'm talking about. The hype video. The hype video.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the video I just posted today on the channel.
Oh no, I haven't seen that. I'm talking about the hype video you made for the Miami Dolphins for us, like for the community.
Oh yeah.
That was impressive. I like that a lot. I haven't seen the video you posted today. I've been on Twitter all day, but posting in space.
You're gonna get a kick out of that one.
Okay. Robert, can you hear us, Robert? I think we could barely hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
We hear you now. Okay.
You just want to say it's like I'm one of those people that if I'm running my mouth all the time, I'm not learning anything. I have an opinion. I'll share it when it's valid. But I like to digest and learn.
You like to digest. That's fair. That's a fair point. So Todd was asking about the possibility of the Dolphins switching to a wide 9 as far as the defense. I don't know. Maybe what about a 4-3? A lot of people are talking about that too. Todd,
a 4-3 would fit Baker better, being more of an outside linebacker.
Mm-hmm.
What Lovie Smith ran?
Lovie Smith. Didn't Lovie Smith run a wide 9?
Was it a wide 9 or was it a 4-3? I thought it was a 4-3, but I could very easily be wrong.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but that's an option.
Well,
that people are
you got to think about back to the Chicago days. I think it was a 4-3 with Urlacher as the middle linebacker for him. So I think Lovey does run a 4-3.
I got a question. As Dolphins fans, and I'm not trolling or anything. I'm just asking.
You not trolling?
It feel
Come
like
on.
Groundhog's Day for y'all? Like every year, Groundhog's Day?
So, Master at work.
Mm-hmm.
You drive me absolutely nuts sometimes, man, but I'm glad I actually get to sit here and have a conversation with you.
I just see all the problems. Here's the thing. I know so much about your organization. I'm looking from the outside looking in, and I can just see so many solutions to every single one of your problems. And it's so crazy how your fan base is so divided over these issues. It's really insane to me.
Let me try and respond, and I don't think we're actually going to be that far off. The fan base right now is super split down the middle, and it's actually really irritating. It makes it really annoying to sit there and try and watch stuff. Like uneven head, level kill head, saying no one's really proved anything yet, but there's not a reason to blow up everything is kind of where I personally sit. Like, I am all for get rid of Boyer though right now. I don't like our defensive scheme as it sits. I don't like relying on 2 shutdown corners. That's not sustainable. And I think it's a bad thing to structure your defense around, just given the state of the NFL. But this year doesn't seem to feel like every other year, because I've seen more progress with our offense this year than I have in 20 years. Yes, we have regression on the defense, which isn't good and could just be a mirror of the previous. But it definitely doesn't feel or look the same as it did with Adam Gase. It's not the same with all the injury stuff going on with Tua Tagovailoa. And it's just very split. Like, the fan base is super divided.
100%.
So Batman, I know you're a huge Tua supporter.
Yeah.
Am I right? Or am I wrong?
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that.
Yeah. Okay. I just. So my question to you is, not saying that he didn't progress this season, like on the field wise, but like his injury situation is just not sustainable. It just isn't. And there's so many better options out there, because you're stuck now because Chris Greer came out and said that, you know, he's going to be the franchise. Well, not franchise, but he's going to be the starter next season. He's going to be on the team next season. So if Chris Greer says that, especially with the owner, that means Chris Greer isn't going anywhere either.
Right.
And that also means Mike McDaniel isn't going anywhere. So technically, I understand your standpoint is your fan base doesn't have any choice but to just roll with what's going on. You know what I mean? But here's the issue you're going to face next season, which I think you're wrong. I think Tua needs to go. I hope you guys set him to a huge extension, by the way. I hope he stays there forever. I understand the Patriots can't seem to beat him, but we'll get over that eventually. But my issue is what's going to end up happening is you're going to be stagnant and you're going to be walking in place while every team around you is going to steadily get better. That means the Jets are going to go out and get a quarterback. The Patriots already rumors that they're favorites to get Lamar Jackson. What's going to end up happening
That's news to me.
You're going to be stuck in a season to where nothing changes. The coaching doesn't change. Your schemes don't change. Maybe you'll have to obviously change your defense, obviously, if that gets better or not. But technically, you're stuck because you don't have enough cap space. You have to maneuver the cap. You don't really have enough draft capital to go out and go crazy this season, and you spent most of your money last offseason. So just like the Patriots did, you have to go a year without really going crazy, and you got to maneuver the cap by trading players. And so what's going to end up happening is when you're stagnant, you're not making any changes and nothing progresses. And if you have another season like this season, is all these teams around you, like the Jets, the Patriots, and the Bills too, are going to also get better. So what are you going? You're going to end up being at the bottom of the barrel, and you're going to have to completely rebuild when things don't go to plan, because Greer is stuck. He already said Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson and Tua, which is the 2019 draft, to where he's the GM, so he can't. He has no choice. He has to stick with what he picked because he has to prove a point. He can't go out and get rid of these players, because that would be admitting that I was wrong, that he was wrong, and Brian Flores was right all along, which would be grounds of firing him. So he has to.
Well, I want to push back on that just a little bit. We can maneuver and make room in the cap, so that's not the way to put it. Are we lacking draft aspects? Yes. Like the whole debacle with our owner and our GM just being dumb. Yeah, that hurt us. The Bills are going to have to pay Allen. They have some star players they have to pay.
There's going to be Allen. Allen's in a contract for the next 10 years.
Yes, but his cap didn't hit till next year.
That's true, but if you have a franchise quarterback, all that doesn't matter. Case in point, Patrick Mahomes.
But Master at Work, we're talking about them getting better, and you're discussing it like we can't go make improvements to our roster but they can, even though they are paying
you went
top of the
out, you
line
went for
players.
broke. The Dolphins went for broke. You signed, you got Tyreek Hill and made him a massive contract, and then you got rid of your first round draft pick for Bradley Chubb
for
and then
Brady.
The other draft pick
For Brady,
ended up,
the other one for we lost.
wait, the draft pick you traded the first round for Bradley Chubb, right?
Yeah, but we lost one because of Brady and Sean Payton situation.
That's what I was just going to say that next. You lost the other one because of tampering.
Yeah.
So you don't really have much leg to stand on.
All right.
No,
So
we can clearly make like 7 room in cap, and when you're talking about Tyreek Hill and you're talking about cap management, Stephon Diggs is getting close to the same. Josh Allen.
I'm not talking about the Bills. I'm talking about the Dolphins.
No, but you're saying we're competing with people in our division and that they're going to get immaculately better, and we're going to stay stagnant. We don't have cap issues too. They do.
You're missing the point.
Let me say this.
The Miami Dolphins' goal is to win a Super Bowl. Am I right or am I wrong?
We have a 3-year window because based on the contracts and players that we have a 3-year window. We just missed 1 year now. And a lot of these players that are under contract where, we could get rid of Tyreek in about 2 years, and that's the plan. And with Armstead, and you moving forward after that, we have this 2-year window right now. Now, in that 2-year window, I understand what you're saying. Teams are going to improve if we stay with Tua for the 4th year. I don't believe he's going to get the 5th-year option as much as I want him to. I don't think he's going to get the 5th-year option. And we're just going to ride out this season, see how it works. And if he plays out and he's healthy the whole year, we're just going to try to give him either a franchise tag or at that point extend him and give him a contract at that point. But you go into 2024, you have all your draft picks. I'm not saying that you're going to go and start all over again, getting a quarterback through the draft, but you have the ability to get a quarterback because you have draft picks, whether it's a veteran or going through the draft. That being said, I understand the situation when possibly Derek Carr going to the Jets. That's a really good possibility. I can see that happening. I've never heard anything about Lamar with the Patriots. I'm hearing
Lamar
more
Jackson is plus 400 betting odds. He has the best betting odds to go to the Patriots. All the beat writers from Foxborough are saying there are listen, I'm a Patriots fan, so you guys don't pay attention to what I'm paying attention to. I'm just not going to get on here. I made a whole live stream about it. I'm not going to get on here and spew bull crap if I don't think there's a honest,
you guys
real
have
possibility
the capital
of that happening.
to trade for him and the cap space?
We have $50 million in cap space. We have the second most cap space in the NFL, and we have a shit ton of draft capital.
Okay.
We can sign him to the most massive contract known to man and still have money left over because we don't have no talent on the team.
God.
I mean, we do have talent, but we don't have superstars. You know what I mean? We don't have massive contracts. That's the thing. The contracts that we signed, the Hunter Henrys, the Jonnu Smiths, they're all coming out. They're all out. Kendrick Bourne, all those contracts are expiring, and you know what I mean. So we made all our moves, and we made all the wrong moves. But we are dealing with we dealt with the consequences of that by being a bad football team. But now it's coming to the point where now all those contracts are starting to expire, and all the cap is starting to be maneuvered in a way where we have all this cap space where we can go out and trade for a Lamar Jackson. And the reason why I say Lamar Jackson, and people can call me insane or whatever, you can Google it. We have the best odds because Belichick went out and got a Cam Newton. Our offense is a West Coast style offense, they're looking for a West Coast style of offensive coordinator right now. Who runs the West Coast offense?
I heard Bill
Ravens
O'Brien.
run the West Coast offense.
I heard Bill O'Brien's the favorite to go to you guys. For your offensive
I don't know because Bill O'Brien's getting a lot of offers elsewhere, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not. Well, but either way, the Patriots ran the West Coast offense with Cam Newton. He's a running quarterback. He's a black quarterback. So let's not sit up here and say that it's out of the realm of possibility that why would Belichick go after Lamar Jackson? Mac Jones is gone. If you didn't watch Belichick's press conference, I did. He did not commit to Mac Jones whatsoever. He went as so far as to say as he has the potential maybe one of these days to be a good quarterback. You don't say that if you think you have a franchise.
Oh yeah, that is bad.
Well, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. You're losing a couple of your receivers, right? Through free agency.
What receivers? We don't got no receivers.
What's his?
I'll get rid of all of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like we've known the track record that Belichick has as far as drafting. It's not so good. I mean, maybe towards the later rounds, he's pretty good with defensive players, but as far as finding talent on the offense, how are you going to give any kind of resemblance to weapons as far as what he has?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Wow. So both
DeAndre Hopkins, T. Higgins are all rumored to become Patriots.
T. Higgins.
I'm just telling you what's going. I'm just telling you what's coming out from the Patriots beat writers. We have the cap space to get them. We're not broke. We're rich as hell right now. And you could be rich as hell because we don't got no talent and we don't got crazy ass contracts.
I hear you. But what Robert was trying to mention to you, I don't know if it was when you were with TD together or he just said it on his own. But TD's basically saying out here that there's no way Miami Dolphins with 27 players, you got to resign to the roster. There's no way that we can do this and that. We were 4 draft picks in the draft. And what Robert was trying to tell you, we can come up. I mean, I talked about it before the show started. You could bring up $72 million easily into this season coming up. You could free up. You do got to get Christian Wilkins under contract. You got to get Kader Kohou under contract. And you might want to get Nick Needham under contract. Besides that, you have the ability to still go after a star player. Now, that being said, where are we going to invest that money? Whether it's offensive line, middle linebacker, cornerback, we don't know what's going to happen. But I hear what you're saying. $50 million. I never saw it as a valuable option. I never really looked at your cap space. I'm not going with the hypothetical that you would never go after Lamar. I'm just saying I personally haven't heard it, but I trust your judgment on what you're saying as far as
you can do your own research. If people don't believe me, they can do their own research. The betting odds in Vegas is the Patriots are at plus 400. And another thing, who the hell says where is this misconception that the Patriots don't pay players? That is an absolute falsehood. The Patriots went out literally 2 years ago and overspent on a bunch of freaking bums.
Tight ends, but $240 million.
They spent, and the best. I'll tell you the best player we've ever spent on, and Belichick people said he massively overspent for this player. Stephon Gilmore got the highest paid contract at the time by a corner. People are like, "What? Why is he paying Stephon Gilmore? What happened to Stephon Gilmore? He turned into an All-Pro, Super Bowl champion, made big plays, and he was a Defensive Player of the Year." So I don't want to hear that Patriots don't pay players. The reason we couldn't pay nobody last year is because we didn't have no damn money. We're in the same. You're in the situation that we were in last year.
Let me welcome Triple S Podcast. What's going on, Triple S?
Hey, what's going on, Batman? I want to just shout out Master at Work, first of all. I think you say a lot of true things about this team that I don't even hear a lot of Dolphins fans say, so that kind of resonates with me. I also appreciate your videos you make, even if most of them are at our expense. You put a lot of hard work and dedication into that, so appreciate the work you do. I do want to say one thing to Batman. You said that TD's been saying we can't do anything because of the cap space and how many players we're going to re-sign. He actually just had a show the other day kind of talking about what I think it was Robert was talking about, how we can make a bunch of moves. You know, he was referencing the Barry Jackson article and how we can make a bunch of moves to free up a bunch of cap space. But the only problem is you're kicking the can down the road. So I think he does know that we can make cap space. He just knows that it'll hit us later, which is a fact.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
I'll just wrap a little bit about the season, then I'll get out of here. It's getting a little late for me anyway. I think with this team, we're not a quarterback away, but I think we need a quarterback to unlock Super Bowl potential. I think we can win games with Tua. I think he's a perfect guy that we could get to the playoffs with. He's a perfect guy that if he's healthy, that's a big caveat as well. If he's healthy, we could get to the playoffs with. Maybe we could win a playoff game. Maybe we could even win 2. But I think at the end of the day, with a guy like him, you're always going to run into the issue of either he's going to give you a Packers game, he's going to give you a Niners game. This is throughout the course of a playoffs where you got to go 4 to 3 games. I think no matter what, he's either going to give you one of those games at some point, or he's going to get hurt or not even be there to begin with. So for me, it's just not reliable enough to move forward. I know it's been only 3 years of him, first year with McDaniel, but at the same time, I'm at a point in my Dolphins fandom where I'm never going to fully check out and switch up, but I would say I'm about 30% checked out until we get a real solution at that position. That's just my opinion. Maybe he proves me wrong. He goes out, stays healthy, never gets hurt again, wins the Super Bowls. I will be happy as hell. But personally, I don't see it, and I think it's irresponsible that this franchise is trying to feed us that they could see it when we haven't had any kind of evidence to support that.
I hear you. Let me ask this question, and before you leave Triple S, I want Master Work. I'm interested in this one, right? This is something a theory that I've been putting out for the last 2 weeks on Twitter Spaces that we've been cooking. Let's say hypothetically, the Dolphins go and get Brady, right? He comes on a 1-year deal, 2-year deal, whatever it is. He decides he wants to come to stick it to Belichick twice a year, live in South Florida. He's a bachelor. His kids are here. Retire. Best receiver duo in the NFL. Finish his career, right?
No, we do, and that's another thing I disagree with. I think there's better duos.
Hold on.
Sure.
I'm just saying, you giving him the what are the top five?
A very good one. A very
top
good
five.
One.
Let's say top five if you don't want to say the best. And then let's say hypothetically, the Jets make a push because they have the draft picks, they have the ammunition as well. They could make the money work. I know they only got 16, 15 million in cap space, right? But they can make the money work. They can go and get a Lamar Jackson. So now you have a Lamar Jackson, a Josh Allen, and a Brady in the division. Does Bill Belichick retire? Because he ain't gonna.
Why would he retire?
He's going after Shula's record. At that point, he's gonna take another 20 years.
If he's going, well, then if that's the case, then he's not going after Super Bowls. He'll just go after the record. He only needs 19 wins, which would mean he needs to average 10 wins in the next 2 seasons. So if he gets 10 wins next season and 10 wins in the following, 9 wins the following season, which is very doable. We won what did we win? Like 8 games this season. We're not going to be worse than this season. I don't think so, but he'll break Shula's record in 2025.
2025.
I mean, my bad, 2024.
Okay, I'm just asking because
he's only 19. Is not a lot, bro.
It's not. It's not. I mean, it's almost a full season. It's not, but a little bit more than a full season. But I'm just saying, it's a little stressful having to go through that gauntlet. You get what I mean? That would be crazy.
I don't know what could have been more stressful than this year, and I highly doubt he's afraid to play Brady. I think the biggest mistake you can make besides of keeping Tua would be after Brady, just because you would be like literally, bro. I don't know if you watched him on in the playoff game. He doesn't look like, and I know Brady because I've seen him play for 20 years. I've never seen him this rattled. He's not reading the defenses.
I personally don't want
looking
Brady
the same way. He's looking off of receivers. He doesn't look like the same player anymore.
I agree.
I want Brady bad.
All right. Well, Triple S, I'm going to let you answer that real quick. Let me just welcome Mark and welcome back Zachary. So the Brady situation, you say you want Brady bad. I know a lot of people in this community want Brady bad. I know Barry Cunningham wants Brady bad. I know Lewis wants Brady bad. A lot of people want Brady. I know he's a Patriot. I know people feel bad about it. I could care less that he's a Patriot. What I'm saying is, listen, I was up for it about 3 weeks ago with the idea of bringing him on a 1-year deal. He's going to be 46. He's taken a step down. I know people want to throw the yards. He was second in the league in yards, but his attempts and the stuff that I heard off of Tampa, we had a Tampa guy that he's been podcasting since 2012, and he's telling us that the issues with Brady was that his Arians wanted him to throw the ball downfield more.
You're talking about Real Talk Perez.
Real Talk Perez. Who's that?
RTP? Is that the Buccaneers fan you're talking about?
No. It's a gentleman that he comes up. He goes. I forgot his name. He comes up on the spaces. He basically has been. He's off of Texas, but he's a Tampa Bay fan. He's been podcasting for years, and he's been telling us that Brady apparently doesn't want to be throwing the ball downfield as much as he was before, and that might be an issue if you want to come to Miami at 46, having these speedsters on the team that all they do is, well, they could catch slants and stuff like that, but that's you're taking an ability away from them, and Brady doesn't want to do that. So that is something that I want to ask Triple S. If that is true, let's say hypothetically, whether it's BS or not, and Brady doesn't want to be throwing the ball downfield like that as much as often, that's why he had his issues with Arians. How do you feel about that?
That's fine with me. He'll change his mind the first day he gets to practice and sees Tyreek Hill running wide open down the seam. He'll change his mind real fast when he hears those Miami fans cheering for the first time. But what I want to say, and I'm going to ask for Matt Starworks' help with me on answering this for a brief second. Batman, do you remember how Tom Brady looked at the end of his Patriots career? You should, because we were there to witness it. It was at our hands in his home stadium. What were people saying about Brady then? What did Max Kellerman famously say about him then?
They said he was done.
And I'll cue in Master Ricks. What did you personally think? Because you might have a different opinion as a Patriots fan. What was your opinion if you could take yourself back to 2018, the year that
he wasn't
that he
done.
lost
In
in the
fact,
playoffs?
the problem with that season was we didn't have enough weapons. Antonio Brown decided to act a fool on Instagram. We had to cut Antonio Brown. Gronk got hurt. He was out for the season. Edelman was on the latter part of his career. He wasn't the same. Offensive line completely just started getting hurt. So I knew Brady wasn't done after that season. But this is a completely different scenario. That was 2018. That was literally 4 years ago. He's 40. He's going to be what is he? 46.
46.
He's gonna be 46, I believe.
I'm gonna loop it in.
He's going to be 46 years old, bro.
Yeah, I'll loop it all together. So after that, the majority of people did think you have a more realistic take. Obviously, Master, you covered the team and follow it much more closely than the average person. But the majority of people thought he was done. He was deep fried. It was over for Brady. What did he do? He won a Super Bowl the very next year, first year with a new team. So for me, I know like he's 46. Maybe people say he declined. He was still second in the league in passing. He's still, people say his arm is deep fried. I remember seeing him overthrow a deep pass to Mike Evans when they were getting blown out by Dallas late in the game when they still had somewhat of a razor slim chance to make a crazy comeback. That deep one that went right off of Evans' fingertips. That's Tyreek. He's running under that thing for a touchdown. But for me, the other thing is Brady doesn't necessarily get hurt the way that Tua does. So I have less concern that way. Do we have a bad O-line? Yes. But the other nice thing about Brady, I believe he would take a guy like Ryan Jensen with him. We could kick Connor Williams to guard. He's going to recruit guys very well as well.
You could even bring Gronk for the cheap too.
You're not in the same position that when Brady had when Tampa got Brady. Are you gonna magically conjure up a top 5 defense with a bunch of young players on that defense like Tampa Bay did? Are you gonna magically go to the Tooth Fairy and get a bunch of cap space so Brady can actually recruit players to sign because you don't have enough cap space to sign anybody anyway? And Brady's not going to be cheap. Brady's not taking no damn discount to go to Miami either. You bet your ass on that one, especially after the divorce where he lost literally over $700 million of his net worth. So you're not thinking about all these things, bro.
No, I'm thinking about them. Don't worry. I'm thinking about them. And here's the two things. One, never did I say this was a guarantee to win a Super Bowl because it's very hard to do. We could get him. Even if the defense looks great, even if the offense looks great, you could still lose in the division. Like, you're never going to be guaranteed. I'm all about odds. With me, I see low odds with Tua because of injuries and inconsistent play. I see higher odds with Brady. Does it mean we're going to win for sure? No. The other thing you're saying about the cap space, is it possible? Yes. You'll get a small window, which is fine because he's only going to play probably 2 years max anyway. But I would rather go for broke in those 2 years. The cap in the future already looks like hell. So kick that can one last time, like TD showed in his video, like Barry Jackson showed in his article. Free up that little bit of cap space you can. Get as many of Brady's guys as you can in. Improve the roster to the best degree you can, and go crazy for 2 years. See what can happen.
Who are Brady's guys now? Who do you think Who are Brady's guys?
I don't know. I think Ryan Jensen's the main one that I can just think about off the top of my head. But
Gronk,
I don't know. There's definitely guys that
Gronk's not coming back.
Yeah,
you never know.
Again, I don't study the Bucks or his former teammates in the Patriots and where they are now enough to
remember. Now this was 4 years ago. Things have changed.
Sure.
Players have retired. The league has changed.
Like I said, I'm an odds guy, and I see.
And not only that, bro, the Dolphins franchise completely threw Brady under the bus with the tamper thing. Brady almost got in trouble for that. Do you honestly believe he's going to want to come to the Dolphins after that fiasco?
I don't know if you would, but I would try. That's all I'm saying. I would try. But anyways, fellas, I'm going to get out of here. I stayed longer than I should have anyway. Appreciate you for having me up, Batman. Master, again, appreciate the work you do. And shout out to everyone on the panel. Mark, I'd be loving your takes as well when I'm in the chat on Stephen D's channel. So keep up the good work.
Thank you, Triple S.
Gotcha.
Hey, guys, I just took a look at the Dolphins cap for 2023 and to see exactly where you folks are at. So right now, with 45 players signed, you have your $14.5 million in the hole. So 9 more players, obviously, or 8 more players have to be signed to the roster. You've got, I think it's 5 draft picks, Batman. I think you got a second, 2/3, a 6th, and a 7th.
I thought we traded the 7th away. I forgot.
I've read different things, but I understand you. I think the
I
Dolphins have
think
5
it went
picks.
to the 49ers when we. I think we gave 2 picks for Wilson.
Okay.
We gave a
Now
fifth
remember,
and
out of that $14 million that you're in the hole, yes, you can make up money. I took a look at Hill's contract, and maybe somebody on the panel knows a little bit more than I do. But Hill's contract next year is structured so that his contract, he has a certain dollar amount on his contract and then a certain amount in his bonus money. So I don't know. Can you take the guaranteed salary and move it into a bonus
Yes, you can.
and take that off your regular salary?
Yeah, you could make it into a 1 million salary for his season and then guarantee the rest. You could.
Okay, so if they bonus him out, to take him down to 1 million in base salary, then bonus and then pay him a signing bonus.
Yeah,
of
they can
20
prorate that, I
million or
believe,
whatever
over
it is.
3 years. Correct?
Right, and that affects
Okay, that's
us
fine.
in
Yeah.
3 years.
So looking at the cap that way, yeah, there's plenty of money for the Dolphins that they can get plenty of money.
Yeah. The issue with that is the way the Dolphins structured their contracts prior to all this was if we wanted to walk away from Teron Armstead in 2 more years from now, it was a 3-year, basically 3-year window. Same thing with Tyreek because you do got to pay Waddle then, right?
Right.
It
Yeah.
makes
Hill's contract is 4 years, so he's got 3 years left.
But if you look at the cap, the dead cap, as far as getting rid of Tyreek, I think it's like 3 to 4 million in 3 years, or in 2 more years now after this season. So if you guarantee the money, obviously, you prorate it. Now you're talking about, will that cap hit get significantly higher if you cut them in 2 seasons when we have to pay Waddle? So those are all things that, listen, you had Donna Ponte down here. She was a master when it comes to manipulating money and figuring out cap space for us. And ever since then, Greer has done a decent job. I don't think he's doing as good as a job as she was, but he's going to figure it out regardless. Now,
well, yeah, so we're definitely saying that. So there's definitely money to be had on the contracts, and you could do a lot of maneuvering, for example, with Chubb's contract.
Same thing with Chubb's.
Yeah, Armstead is at like a $9 million base, and then there's a $9 million roster bonus or something.
Mm-hmm.
The way that it's structured, and also remember the cap is going up significantly next year because that's when the DirecTV money kicks, or excuse me, these NFL Sunday Ticket money kicks in.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think cap space in the future is going to be that much of a problem. It's just a matter of what moves can the Dolphins legitimately make. And I've been listening to a lot of the talk tonight about Brady coming in, and the concerns that I have is he doesn't look like he's the same player. Masterwork has really kind of laid that out for us. And then secondarily, if you bring Brady in, that definitely means that you have to move Tua out. Or am I not understanding that correctly?
What was that again?
If you move Brady in, does that mean Tua absolutely has to go? Because I don't see that situation working at all.
So I agree with you. I know that's what we want to say as hopeful fans, because Brady will probably be here at the most for 2 years, 2-year deal. I don't see Tua being a part of this and not wanting to be a backup, and he'll request a trade. And that will make things difficult because I think his cap hit jumps.
Well, the cap hit's pretty reasonable.
No,
it's
his
the
dead
concussion
cap
history that's problematic.
His dead cap is what I'm afraid of. If you have to trade him or cut him, that makes it difficult. Not saying it can't be done, but I just don't see Tua being a backup. I don't.
Okay, and then the other thing that I was wondering about, and maybe this is, yes, you're losing players off your roster, but at the same time, are these players worthwhile keeping? If you were to release Eichenberg, that's $1 million cap hit. If you were to release Noah, it's a $2.5 million cap hit. And if you release Austin Jackson, it's a $4 million cap hit. And these are 3 players that I think be replaced on the roster for less money.
Noah was close to 6 last time I checked on the dead cap.
No, I just looked at it right now.
Okay.
Noah's got a contract of like $3.5 million, but only 2.5 of it is under dead cap.
Okay.
And Austin Jackson's is $4.034 million, and if you just flat out cut him. So are these hits you want to take? No, but can they be replaced? Can these players be replaced by adequate replacements? I think they can.
Oh, of course. I mean, as far as Yasser Jackson, I mean, when you really think about it, offensive lineman, that's a going rate for an offensive lineman, especially him being 23, I believe, 24 at the
That's
most.
actually probably cheap for an
Yeah.
offensive lineman.
Yeah. So I would keep him. Don't give him the 5th-year option, even if he's a backup. The Dolphins feel highly coveted him. They think he could be the right tackle here, which I don't see how. But the Noah move, if it's only 2.5, I could definitely see Miami wanting to move from it. But
Yeah, well, that's money that you can give the Kader Kohou, which I think is a lot better way to spend your money.
Yeah, right.
Because
I think a little bit
Kohou was
more.
rated
Kader-
37th. I think he was rated 37th out of 100 corners, and that's really good.
Kader getting love.
I think Kader gonna get a little bit more than that, but yeah, a little bit more money than that, but yes.
And maybe you can go to Xavier and get him to give a little bit of money back, or shuffle some money around to the back end of his deal.
Yeah. So again, Miami has the ways, like I say, like now where they're going to allocate the money to, we want priority number one is they're talking is Christian Wilkins. Kader, they've been in talks with Nick Needham. So we'll see how things go.
Well, let me just finish here. If the Dolphins, can re-sign Wilkins and Needham to long-term contracts, the benefit to them is that they don't have to pay that much the first year. They can back end that because Wilkins is a young player, Needham is a young player, so you have a lot of room to back end contracts.
It's true. It's true.
So I wouldn't worry about signing those guys because remember you're going to pick up at least 12 to 14 million in cap space next year with just the Sunday ticket deal.
Yeah. Every team is, not just us, every team.
Well, yeah, but we're trying to talk. We're talking about constructing the Dolphins roster in the window, in your window.
Yeah,
and every team has a window, obviously.
Go ahead, Master Work.
Is there anything that could possibly happen that would make you not a Dolphins fan anymore?
Great question.
That won't make me a fan anymore. That's hard, man. I listen. I've been a fan.
Give me one scenario that would have to happen.
I unless they. Oh man, it's hard, man.
Maybe
you could say relocation if they relocate the team.
No. Relocation's out. The team will never relocate.
All right.
Ever.
I can't. Yeah. No. I'll always be a fan.
I got one for you. If I came into some money and I bought the Miami Dolphins and I became the owner, and my primary target as an owner was to continue the ineptitude of the Dolphins is to make y'all make all the wrong moves on purpose, would you then? And I would.
Oh, master. That would be like saying you're going to make me not be a Buffalo Bills fan.
Imagine somebody buying an NFL team just to own that team out of spite.
And you realize that Donald Trump almost bought the Bills.
Yeah, I know, but he didn't do it out of spite.
No, he did it out of general, God only knows what. We could have been the Toronto Bills if Bon Jovi bought them.
I wonder, imagine somebody buying the Dolphins, and it was an enemy, and they just did all the worst moves on purpose. Like they hired, I don't know, Hackenberg.
Well, who could I hire that's any worse? Let's put it that way.
They drafted Tua's brother, and there would be absolutely nothing that could ever happen for Tua never to leave the franchise.
Now, Batman, that could be awesome. You have the Tua brothers, one right-handed, one left-handed.
What would happen to your fan base if you guys ended up drafting Tua's brother?
I'll be honest with you. I think this fan base would collapse. Listen. I see it on a day-to-day basis. I'm telling you, we run Twitter Spaces for about 8 hours a day, right? And I hear from takes that make sense to the craziest things it goes from Skyler being better than Brady, better than Tua to I've heard it all. I've heard Herbert being better than Mahomes. I've heard it just doesn't make any sense. But if you brought Tua's brother to this fan base, I think people would lose their shit. I think people will definitely lose their shit.
Is he eligible for the draft?
I don't think this season.
Yeah, maybe next year. But the ultimate would be drafting Tua's brother and then hiring his father as head coach.
He has another brother. Doesn't he have two brothers?
He has a couple. I mean, I met his brother, and I met a couple of his brothers at and uncles at training camp this season.
They're all quarterbacks, right?
I guess what I'm not understanding either is, of course, we have the press conference yesterday, and GM and coach come out and they talk about Tua being the quarterback in 2023. And believe it or not, of all people who made a great point this morning was Pete. And Pete has some pretty strange takes from time to time, as we all know. But he was talking specifically, and it actually made sense that there have not been 3 doctors that are willing to sign off on Tua as of yet.
Pete, listen, that was part of the argument we had today.
We know Pete's a little touch from time to time. But
I'm not going to say that this was going to happen because, again, the Miami Dolphins are not going to. They're not going to go. After everything we've gone through as far as losing draft picks and any BS rumor that's happened to us and being in controversy. The last thing the Miami Dolphins want to get into is trying to get, we live in Miami. This is the capital of fraud. Okay. And if those signatures if you needed 3 doctors, which I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but if you do needed 3 doctors to sign off,
it's true because he hasn't been cleared from protocol.
Miami's the easiest place to get those signatures. Let's just put it that way. Miami's the easiest place to get those signatures. I'll just say it like
I have one other question, Master. You may know this. I'm not saying you guys don't, but I think he may have a better knowledge. If let's just say Tua signs off on a deal that leaves the NFL of liability in case of an additional concussion, does that override the actual liability of the league letting him play?
Not sure.
All I know is that the NFL. Color brought up a great point. He says,
I guarantee you,
if you've got a ladder that he brought up a point, from his past work experience, that if you have a ladder that has the ability to have a 200-pound tensile strength, and you're 210 pounds, and the ladder collapses, the company that employed you would still be held liable because of the fact that they allowed you to work at 210 pounds with a 200-pound tensile strength ladder.
I don't know, bro. I really don't care.
No, understand. I'm just saying that where is the liability? Where is the league's liability? And that's where the issue with Tua is going to be. Is the NFL going to take the risk of the liability of this man getting another concussion and potential, long-term
damage?
The
NFL called they talked to the Dolphins. I guarantee you this is what happened. They talked to the Dolphins, and I guarantee you both parties came to a agreement that we should not play Tua the rest of the season, because if something were to happen, especially after Damar Hamlin, everybody's watching. If Tua were to get a concussion or have what happened to him in Cincinnati, it would be catastrophic, not only for the league but for the Miami Dolphins. And the Dolphins, even if they had beat the Bills, I don't give a damn if the Dolphins went to the damn Super Bowl. There was no way Tua was going to play the rest of this season. They were.
I agree, man.
Not worth the risk.
Well, this is the thing. Schefter came out on Sunday, be part of the game, and he was reporting that Tua was going to be here for the Dolphins were going to go with Tua, right? And a lot of people in the fan base got mad about that. They were pissed off. Like, why would that information come out? The Dolphins or Schefter put out that information, and what was it? 2 hours before the game, and I said to myself, I get the frustration within the fan base, but there was something that he mentioned after that when Schefter was reporting that or sooner. So, not saying that he would have been available if they would have advanced towards going into the Bengals game, but I strongly believe that, not guaranteeing that it would have been the Bengals, but if the Dolphins for some miracle continued to succeed, they probably would have played Tua. They probably would have if they would have been able to get those signatures.
Batman,
believe me.
I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm gonna tell you why that wouldn't happen. Had you won, let's say, had you gone to the AFC Championship game, why the hell would you go with Tua when the reason most likely you had won those games was because of Skyler.
It wasn't because of Skyler. It was because of Sanders.
No.
Skyler's just held down the
But had
ship.
you guys, bro, had Skyler won that game, let's say he took y'all on some crazy drive at the end and was clutch and hit Tyreek in the back of the end zone.
That's different.
Do you honestly believe the fan base would even want Tua? Bro, it will be all
completely
Skyler.
different. These are all conversations we've had. Like we've had.
Not only that, Skyler. Don't you think Skyler would deserve a chance? Skyler would deserve the chance to lead y'all as far as he can take you.
Not if he would have given the same performance he gave us against the Jets. No, but he came out. Listen, he threw his interceptions. I don't knock him. He had a lot of drops as far as receivers. I don't knock him. He didn't play the greatest game in the world, but he played enough for me to be like, all right, this kid deserves a chance for the future. That's what he showed me. But if Skyler would have given us the same performance, and for some miracle, I kept saying this, if by some miracle on earth he would have beat the Bills exactly how he beat the Jets, 11-6 or something like that, where we all relied on field goals.
That's different.
We won the game. At that point, I could see the fan base saying, all right, Tua. But if Skyler balls, no, you're not going to go.
If he played like he did against the Bills, and let's say instead of the bot's 4th and 1 or the 4th and 6 after that, and let's say he drives you down the field and you win the game, and it's off of Skyler's arm, there's no way. Even if Tua was cleared, I wouldn't play him.
I hear you. I hear you.
And I think that's a really interesting point, because there's a segment of the fan base that would much rather see the Dolphins lose with Skyler to prove that Tua is better. And that's a very unfortunate scenario for the city of Miami. That team is not that the fans have not coalesced around the team. Instead, they coalesce around the quarterback. Because he came from Alabama. In my opinion, and this is simply my opinion, nothing more, nothing less, that the Dolphins would be better served by bringing in another quarterback, moving on from Tua, whether it be cutting him or whatever the situation may be, or pay him enough to retire and make him go away, so that the split in the fan base ends. Because that's, one of the reasons that makes the Dolphins YouTube channel so appealing is the continuous fighting that goes on between the two groups.
Yeah.
Other fan bases don't have that.
He's a polarizing. It's the thing people say. Why do so many people love Tua? And the thing is that he was a polarizing athlete in college, polarizing still in the NFL. He has a giant following, not just from Alabama, but you have a giant following because of his story. And then obviously he's a Dolphins quarterback. So all these things tie up. So it sucks that you have the Alabama fans that no matter where he goes, they're going to follow him. Then you have the Dolphin fans that have been here for years that want to get rid of him because they see this window closing. We have a 2-year window now, and this window's closing. And then you have the fan base that we haven't seen a quarterback like of what he produces as far as just go by the season. Again, he is a 3-year quarterback, but people hate it. I go by this season because of you finally gave him the weapons. And if he can stay healthy, now it's an issue of consistency and health. That's the issues right now that we have. The whole deep.
And there's one more. There's one more thing, Batman. It's the ability to play against better teams. Tua makes superstar stats in games. Let's just take the Ravens game. The Ravens were down to the last players in their secondary. He did really nothing in that first Buffalo game. He threw for 186 yards, and he hit that one big pass to Waddle on 3rd and 22. And when he got to the more difficult part of the schedule, when he had to play the Vikings when he had to play the 49ers and the Chargers, who schemed him out, his game against Buffalo was not all that spectacular. It was a 49.9 PFF rating. And then, of course, the meltdown against the Packers. People have got to wonder, which Tua is it? Is it the Lions, Tigers, and Bears? Tua? Well, I shouldn't say that. Is the Lions, Bears, Browns? Or is it those other teams that are difficult? And that's also where some of this difficulty comes in. That he's not been proven in December. He's not been proven to win critical games, and he's gone small when he needs to play big.
I hear you, Mark, but if you look at our record for the last 30 years in December, it hasn't been all that great. It's not just Tua. and hasn't been all that great. I know a lot of people want to go
13-87.
He's literally our starting quarterback. So, but you're gonna go by what's here now, right? So I get it. And that's definitely an issue because you want to win games when it comes to the end of the season, when some of these games count. You know, you don't want to be relying on the end of the season to get into the playoffs. So that's something that we all didn't want to see, and unfortunately, that's what happened. That's transpired going into it. But let me welcome Michael K as well. What's going on, Michael K?
Hey, what's going on? No, I just popped it. I'm just kind of curious on why these guys are talking NFL league when it's the NFLPA that's going to kind of pretty much dictate if the kid plays again or not.
Yeah.
Well, it has nothing to do with the league. It has to do with the Players Association.
It's a lot of factors. It's not just Tua. It's not the Dolphins. It's not just the NFL. It's a lot of factors that factor into it. Doctors and everything. It's a lot. But ultimately, it's gonna happen. At the end of the world, you know, the NFL is a business. I know that they want to protect the shield because of the future incidents with Tua. I can understand that. But the Dolphins holding off of Tua or the NFL holding off of Tua and not letting him return. I think the NFL, and basically now they're saying it was officially 2 concussions instead of 3.
Well,
it's gonna help. You get what I mean?
Do you follow Color or El Capitan on Twitter?
Yeah. And they're going live, by the way, everybody. They're going live in about 7 minutes. We're gonna go over there in about 7 minutes.
Okay. Did y'all have a discussion in the Dolphins fan base on whether Mike McDaniels was vaping and whether he was too hot? Maybe he was so zooted that he completely lost track of time.
Well, he lost track of downs. We know that because he thought it was the first down instead of a 4th and 1.
I know what's his name that has a show. What's his name? I forget his name right now. The punter from the Colts. What's his name?
Pat McAfee.
Pat McAfee show. So Pat McAfee, he did a little video of what he was talking about, the whole vaping situation. It looked like he had a Sharpie in his hand, right? It looked like he had a Sharpie in his hand. He was exhaling it was cold, right? Weather was cold. He put the marker in his mouth, and then that's where the video ends. So it's like, he had it covered. I can see why people would say it was a vape. I'm not saying it wasn't. I don't think it was. I'll be honest. My opinion, I don't think it was. But
no, I don't know. I don't think he was stoned on the sideline. His call was
alcoholic. Remember, he left the league because of his alcoholism.
I'm not going there.
He has a very addictive personality.
Yeah, that's a very dangerous subject to get into.
Yeah, I can't look. We got 82 in the room.
Bro, we ain't no ESPN. We talking about it's a dangerous subject. We ain't. What do you got? Like a million viewers watching? We on First Take?
It's not.
No, it's just that when you accuse someone of an alcoholic behavior, that's slanderous, and that becomes problematic.
Wait, am I? Bro, he's an ex-alcoholic. He said it himself.
Yeah, that's correct.
Well, hold on though. If he was vaping on the sideline, it's legal in New York. So it doesn't matter. Marijuana is legal now.
Yeah, but you can't be doing that as an NFL head coach on the damn sideline. What the hell is wrong with you?
Yeah,
there's a rule against that, right?
Well, there's club rules, and club rule. If you
it's an
that
NFL
might be a contract
rule.
violation.
It's only illegal if you get caught.
All I'm saying is you're talking about a dude that had alcohol issues and left the league. You remember he left the league when he was for a full season to recover from alcoholism. So let's not sit here and act like this is wow. I can't believe Mike McDaniel would do something like that.
But regardless of that, I got to debunk the one thing where they're saying he was blowing on his hands because they were cold. He had gloves on.
Yeah, he had gloves.
And we all know it ain't gonna do nothing if you blow on your hands with gloves on.
It couldn't be in it because the video they show him. The video starts with him shortly exhaling, and obviously it's cold. You're gonna see that. Right? But then it goes with his hands going up, and it looks like he puts a pen in his mouth, a Sharpie, or it could have been. I mean, it could have been a vape, but you don't see an exhale after that.
And disguised as a Sharpie.
It could be. I mean, they look very similar. And again, this is something you buy at the gas station. This is not, it's not anything. This is actual vape. It is a Sharpie. So it has black tips. I can see why people would say that.
Somebody in the comment section says, "Who cares?" How do you know that didn't have anything to do with the horrendous clock management? That clock management was all time.
Clock management on crowd noise.
Clock management has been an issue.
And nothing to do no damn crowd noise.
Clock management has been an issue the whole season. But I think McDaniel, what he said was something about they informed him that it was first down when it was 4th and 1. And
no, McDaniel heard it was first down when it was
yeah,
fourth
there
and
we
one.
go. So it's
all
like
you have to do is look around the stadium and see
Well, there's a
everything,
huge
every
fucking
scoreboard, every little
scoreboard.
sideline or every little section that shows down in distance showing fourth and one.
I mean,
Now,
he
if
has
he's too
guys. He has guys on the
stoned
sidelines.
to
He has people
understand
that
that,
can tell him that too, and it's just that's what infuriates me. That I understand we're gonna keep saying he's a first-time head coach, and again, I like McDaniel. I think year 2 of McDaniel's offense is gonna be off through the roof. I mean that.
no,
But
I think this offense is a byproduct of the talent that's on it, and it's being torn and it's being taken down by a bad coach.
No, you can't say
Scott
that.
McDaniel is not a bad coach.
No comment, guys. No comment. Batman, I can't comment on that.
Yeah, he can't comment on that. So, but listen, everybody, I want to appreciate everybody. Hit the like button before y'all leave. Again,
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, let me check out to make sure I hit the like button.
The Phins tailgate is going live in a minute, 30 seconds. Go catch them out. It's gonna be Dolphins debrief tonight. So shout out to DTA. Everybody, let's go show some love. Let's jump over there and let's kick it with DTA for the remaining of the night. For those of you that are not gonna go to sleep, I want to thank Zachary from ZSM Sports. If y'all don't know ZSM Sports, they got a lot of cool memorabilia. If you're a big fan of autographs and stuff like that, this is the man you got to follow. And he has a lot of cool stuff. I'm telling you, like, shout out to Zachary. I was able to pick up some stuff when the Dolphins came out to Vesasur. And we were able to, that's something that I'm going to be giving back. For those of you that were waiting for today for the giveaway, I'm going to do that tomorrow. I'm going to be, we got the wheel already set up for those of you that are going to go into the giveaway. And then I'm going to announce the next giveaway tomorrow as well. So everybody tune in to the Phinsaholics show. Shout out to everybody getting to me 603 subscribers as of this morning. So shout out to everybody that made that possible. Again, the goal's to 1,000. I gotta, well, we're going to keep it going, but I want to get to 1,000 so we can give out these cool jerseys. That Kader Kohou jersey is next. As much as I want it, that Kader Kohou jersey is next. You know, everybody, like Zachary has a bunch of cool stuff. This is just one of them right here. Look at this beautiful Kader Kohou jersey, ladies and gentlemen. Miami Vice Kader Kohou jersey. Like, this is just some of the stuff you could get from Zachary. So just reach out to Zachary. Zachary, where can they go and find you as far as if they want to go and get some merchandise?
On Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I mean, I'm more active on Instagram and Twitter, I think, like message wise, but Facebook I do answer as well.
So it's ZSM Sports on Instagram.
So on Instagram it's ZSM_sports, and then it's sports ZSM on Twitter.
Okay, perfect. Y'all heard it. You guys got to go check them out. I'm telling you, I've been talking to Zachary for what, maybe like a year and a half, roughly.
Yeah,
we got to meet for first time.
Probably a year and a half. We met first time at the
Vesasur, the brewing company. Yeah, at Vesasur. Shout out to Vesasur, sponsor of Miami Sports Music and sponsor the Phinsaholics show as well. So, but yeah, I appreciate you stopping by, man, and giving us some insight. You know, hopefully we could get some of these guys signed. You know, I'm going to be thrilled once we get the official news and word that the Miami Dolphins got it done.
Look, I just want my two guys. I want Kader and Sylvan. I mean, Sylvan had, I know he's a third string running back, and people might
hey, listen, believe it or not, we've been talking about
Ahmed.
Ahmed.
More yards than
We've been talking about Ahmed coming back. Like I'm telling you, Monday through Friday, I got the Phinsaholics show 8:30 to God knows what time, right? But we host from 12 o'clock to 7 o'clock at night. We host Twitter Spaces, and not one person in this community saying that they would have want Ahmed back, because he's a great player. We've definitely seen the stuff he shined. You know, I know people are going to throw shade at Gaskins, but he is a beast, and I think he's going to benefit returning to this team. This is a crucial part that can be incorporated as far as his backfield. I want to see continued success from him. I do. I mean that.
Yeah, I mean the front office loves him. I mean, yeah. I love him. He's like my brother. So, I mean, the kid's amazing, and you just got to give him. I mean, look, it was a little 2-yard pass, and look what he did. He took it for 20 yards.
Hey, Zachary, Caslin 143 says, do you guys have any soccer stuff?
Not yet. We're in works with the USA guy Tristan McKenzie, so we're trying to get something done, but we're in talks.
Awesome. Hey,
Soccer,
appreciate you stopping by, man.
It's a great sport, but I just haven't dabbled in it yet.
We haven't got into it yet, but yeah, you got a lot of stuff. I mean, listen, I felt like a kid at Toys R Us when I saw your table at Vesta Sewer, and I saw all the stuff you had available: mini helmets, jerseys, photographs. You had the big photographs too, the Ronnie Brown ones. Oh man, like I listen. If I had the resources, because like the thing about me is I like to collect a lot of stuff for myself, but everything that I got from you, except for this that I am keeping, right? Everything that I got from you, and this
Bro,
is the Javon
that's
Holland.
almost a one of a kind, man.
This is
I don't know if people know about that.
This is something I want to keep, right? This is something I want to keep, but the jerseys and all that, as much as I want to keep it, like I'm definitely gonna give back to the channel. Eventually down the road, I want to get some stuff for me. If you still have down the road, eventually, like
I always got down the road, man. You know I got you.
But yeah, I still got a couple more that I need to get from you. We'll link up definitely because you're based off on both Palm Beach and Davie, right?
Yeah. I mean, I could. I'm in Plantation, so it's kind of in the middle,
right
Fort Lauderdale.
So the thing about me is I live down here in Miami, but I work in Pompano Beach, so it's on the way. It's on the way.
Oh yeah, that literally is on the way.
So I could always pass by. We could link up. But yeah, appreciate you stopping by. For real, everybody, go check out TFTG right now. Go check out ZSM Sports. Zachary, he told you where you find the links as far as if you want to get into any merchandise, autographs, memorabilia. I'm telling you, it's the best. I'm not just saying because he's here, because I've been saying it for a long time. And I told Steven about it. So it's like, listen, he's the best. Shout out to everybody, man. Fins up. And everybody have a blessed night. Appreciate it.